do this every time. Okay, now we're recording. Okay. Not receiving what? Finding people to invite. Okay, these are all good. Keep them coming. I'm going to first respond to Elizabeth's. I will first start by saying that I am not, what am I trying to say? Some of these things that you guys are talking about, I struggle with too. So I am not an expert. Gosh, wow, that word was hard. I am not an expert on any of this, but maybe sharing what I do will help. So building your Instagram and finding creative in what you post. I feel like I go through seasons where I have a ton of things I want to say and a ton of posts, and then seasons where I'm like, oh, gosh, I don't know what to post. Every single Sunday, I sit down and plan out my posts for the week. I post once a day. I post the same thing on Instagram and on Facebook. I know some people say don't do that, but that's what I do. And I try and alternate between things that are like heavy or long posts and then like really lighthearted recipes or whatever. And when I find myself in a creative rut, I ask myself what I'm reading for personal development. If you're not reading anything, that's the first thing. I ask myself, when's the last time I listened to the National Wake Up Call? And like what podcast or what personal development is going to like fuel you up, right? Usually if I'm in a rut, it's because I'm not listening to personal development at all, or whatever personal development I'm listening to is like not doing it for me. And another thing that I will do is I will go to other coaches that I like and admire and respect and that are kind of my vibe. I will go to their page and I will look at their posts, and that usually will help me like jog my memory, or I'll be like, oh yeah, that was a good idea. And I'll take that idea and make it for me. I am not telling you to go to someone else's page and copy their post or change a word or two. That's not what I mean. But I mean, like, you might you might just like go to someone's page and see a post they wrote, and it could be a story about something, and then you're like, oh yeah, that reminds me of this story, and that would be a good post. So that's kind of like what I do when I'm in a posting rut. Also, I have a note section in my phone that is dedicated to new posts. Like, it's titled new posts. And every time like a post comes to me, usually in the shower for some reason, I will sit down and write it out. And that doesn't mean I'm posting it right then and there. It just means I have a bank of a lot of really good posts that I can use. And so that's kind of where I go when I plan my posts on Sundays. So I definitely recommend that as well. Let's see, time management and not getting sucked into the rabbit hole. So you've probably heard this before about time management, but you have to set business hours. I know, I'm like a broken record. You've probably heard it before, and if you haven't, here's your clue. Go set business hours. I did not for the first year and a half, 2 years of my business, and I was checking my phone in the bathroom, trying to send share carts. I don't even think we had share carts, but whatever, links, like walking to my car. I mean, I was always scattered and frantic, and it took time away from my husband at night because I was just like, I felt like I was always working and never working efficiently. And especially now that I stay at home with my kids, like I live and die by business hours. I have my business hours. If it's outside of business hours, I get no notifications on my phone. I don't like the Facebook Messenger and like Instagram app. Like it does not even pop up that someone messaged me. I cannot see any messages unless I go into the app, because then I don't have a temptation to check it when I'm outside of business hours. But when you have that time and you're like, okay, I have from 6 to 7 a.m. to work, and then I have to unplug, it makes you be more efficient in that 1 hour. Another thing that you can do in time, like to manage your time, is set little timers for your day. So like for the next 10 minutes, say you have an hour. For the first 10 minutes, I'm sending invites, and see how many you can send in that 10 minutes. And the next day, try and beat your number. It's like a workout for your power hour. So then you say like, okay, for 15 minutes, I'm going to add as many people as I can to my network. And then you write down that number and you try and beat it the next day. And you'll find that you get more efficient as you do this over and over and over. But ultimately, it just comes down to making business hours and sticking to it. Like, if we're honest with ourselves, we all spend time scrolling social media, watching Netflix when you could be working your business. So I hate to tell it to you, but how bad do you want it? Like, you're the only one that could show up or not show up. Getting sucked into the rabbit hole of social media. I literally do not look at social media unless I'm working. Like, I don't scroll social media. Though I've recently gotten caught up in The Bachelor. I love The Bachelor and The Bachelor in Paradise. And so I have a friend who followed all their social media. And so like I've found myself lately falling into that rabbit hole. But you just kind of like gut check, right? Like I don't follow those famous people, so they're not in my news feed. I never go to my Discover page unless I'm working. Like I just don't do it. Social media is for work, and that's it. And at the end of the day, if I have time and I feel accomplished, I will watch my friends' stories or coaches on my team. But that's after I've gotten like my power hour done. I don't know what this is. Mine is not receiving ages. I'm assuming that's a typo. And a bunch of no's. If you're receiving a bunch of no's, please go for no. You're gonna hear no. That's what this business is. So welcome to Beachbody and welcome to coaching. There are gonna be a lot of people that don't want what you have, and that's okay. Like, it's okay. There's a lot more people that actually need this. Like, need, you guys. I'm not talking about like it would be good for them to work out. I'm talking about they freaking need this to change their life. So, also, Chris Reed, he's like an old-time coach in this company. I once heard him say, or kind of like equate no's to this. So it's like, I'm going to tell you that every no you get is 25 cents, but you can't cash out until you get to $50. So if you hear no 20 times, great. You have what, $5? Did I do that math right? Sure, whatever. Go with it. I think that's right. But you can't cash out until you get to $50. So you have to hear a lot of freaking no's to be able to cash out. And it's the same in your business. You got to hear a lot of freaking no's to finally cash out and get that yes and get that coach and get that business builder and get your business going. Finding people to invite. Well, my guess is that you guys all have someone following you on Instagram and you know someone in real life. So you have people to invite. You just are scared to invite a lot of them. I went there. You have people in your life. You have plenty of people that you could go invite. A lot of you guys are just scared to go do it because it's your warm market, likely. Or maybe it's your cold market and that scares you too. If you find that you are you have no one to invite, you need to focus on expanding your network. But I really do think that most of you guys have people to invite, people that are liking your posts, people that are watching your stories. And if you continually get the same people liking your posts and commenting on your stories, my guess is that you've put zero effort in the past month. And I'm talking about like last month, not yesterday. You might have done this yesterday, but last month or 3 months ago, you were not expanding your network and you were not having a power hour, and now you're feeling those effects. So the work that you do now is going to pay off next month or the next or in 3 months. So if you weren't doing any work 2 months ago, it's going to be hard to invite people now. That's why you have to constantly be filling your funnel. And some of you guys are new, right? You're probably like, well, I haven't even been coaching for 2 months. Well, that's kind of my point. It will pick up if you're showing up. So just keep showing up. A follow-up flow. I'm not sure what you mean by that, so if you could elaborate. My struggle is planning my day accordingly to be effective and efficient. Also ambiguous, and I don't know how to help with that other than plan your day. So you're going to have to elaborate a little more, like what actually stands in your way of being able to plan your day. Okay, struggle with conveying what I'm working through in a coherent way in my posts. Like internally what you're working through. I feel like so many coaches are good at getting deep and I'm not good at wording it. Okay, this is something that I felt a lot in the beginning. Like I was like, these people like just say eloquently and I don't. What I would say is put it on paper, read it through once, and then stop second guessing yourself, because you can say all the wrong things to the right people and they'll still connect with you. And you can say all the right things to the wrong people and they're not going to connect with you. So you do have to trust. As long as you're not writing a novel, like keep it short, get to the point. Don't dump your entire story in every post. Pick like one thing. Like for me, I used to struggle with like really distorted views of like food and nutrition. Like I would try and keep MyFitnessPal at like 1,200 calories. I also was working out 2 hours a day at the gym. I also would eat like peppers and hummus for lunch. And I worked in the hospital. Like those are 3 parts of my story, all a little bit different, that I could put all in one post because they're all my story. But I could also break them out and like focus on one thing and tell your story 100 different ways. I feel stuck between wanting to add new people to my team and challenge groups while feeling like the ones I have aren't that engaged, which makes me feel like I'm not doing something right with the people I already have. First of all, you can never make everyone show up, and you're always going to have people that don't show up. But I do think that's a good gut check to have. Have you checked in with them? When they signed up to work with you, did you actually work with them? I find that getting them in that first month and getting in that groove the first month is vital. So I will send them a message at the end of every week, and I use the Challenge Tracker app. And so I'll go in there and say, hey, Leslie, I saw that it's the end of our first week. How are you liking the group? I saw that you vlogged Shakeology every day this week, but you've only gotten 2 workouts in or whatever. And you can use that calendar in your coach portal to see. And then I just ask, like, what did you do good this week? And what do you want to focus on next week? And I send them a message like this at the end of every single week for the first month. And then I send them a message at the end of their first month, like, okay, you're graduating from my first month, and now our check-ins are going to be more up to you. I'm always here anytime that you need to check in with me or ask me questions, but I'm not going to be checking in with you at the end of every week. I still want to see your engagement in the group. And sometimes I have people that don't engage in the group, and I will call out the elephant in the room. Hey, Leslie, I saw that you're added to the group, but I haven't really seen you in there. Is there a reason that you're not like showing up in the group? Do you not feel connected? Is there something that I can help with? So, I think you can't ever drag them along, but you can ask them why they're not showing up. Why do they say not to plan your posts? I don't know what that means either. I just said to plan your posts, so I didn't know anyone was saying don't. You mean like schedule them out to post? Like using a scheduling app? It's just like Instagram will flag it and it won't push your stuff to as many people. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing everything on my part, but having a hard time to get people to trust me. I know it's a process and it takes time. I've been a coach for 7 months. I need motivation to something that everything I'm doing is worth it. I trust this process, but hearing other successes fuels me. So I do think it takes time, and I also think you're probably just at the tip of the iceberg here on how long you've been doing it. So raise your hand if you have known someone who has started any kind of online business. Hair, nails, skin, shakes, whatever. We all know someone. And raise your hand if those same people quit after 3 to 6 months. Yeah. I would say 75% of the people that I watch sign up for a business are done within 6 months. So people are watching to see if you're going to be another one of those. And you need to prove them wrong. Also, I think that a big part in getting people to trust you is sharing things that are not just Beachbody, right? I share anything I like. It's not just Beachbody. If I like a granola bar, I'll share about it, even though we have a beach bar. If I like a restaurant, if I like a water bottle, like I share about my Bubba keg all the time, like stupid stuff that's like it builds people's trust. Like you're sharing things that you don't get paid to share, and that builds people's trust. Another thing that really builds trust is getting your own results. This is always a gut check for me. I'm not getting any feedback. People are telling me no. Have I gotten real results in a while? Have I actually followed a program and stuck to it and shown that this works? Yeah, Jen, that's a great idea. Sending a survey. What are my business hours? So I get up before my kids, and I get up an hour early. I don't do my workout. I do my devotional, and then I send 20 invites in the morning from people watching my stories, and then I try and clear all my inboxes in the morning. And then I'm usually unplugged. My husband will do breakfast with my kids while I do a workout in the other room. Then I take my little one to preschool 3 days a week, but on the other days I at least have one kid. So I'm unplugged until nap time. And nap time is my non-negotiable. It does not matter what my house looks like. It does not matter any errands that need to be run. It does not. My husband works from home, so I don't just leave my kids while they're napping by themselves. Don't call CPS. It does not matter how many dishes are in the sink. It does not matter. Nap time is work time for me. I don't let anything else. I do nothing else during nap time. It does not matter what else I have to do. And then sometimes at night, like if we're watching mindless TV, I might schedule out posts. and I try and check into my challenge groups for 15 minutes at the end of the day, and then that's it. For the follow-up flow, I guess I just haven't found what works best for me. Like follow up every day or blitz a few times per week. This kind of goes in like seasons for me. Like, for example, I have a group filling up on that's starting on Monday. And so this week has been very heavy on invites and follow-ups this week and last week. And so usually I don't do follow-ups until I have a group starting, like 2 weeks before the group starts. I invite all month long, but I will follow up before my group. And I don't know if that's the right answer, but that's what I do. Anything else? I mean, I could sing for you, but you probably wouldn't like that. Somebody better start talking. Listen to my sister's cell phone ring. Can you guys hear that? Just me? All right, any other questions? Going once? Going twice? Who has a great coach sneak peek video? Likely not me. I send people to a coach sneak peek Instagram page. Recruiting is my biggest weakness. I am not the one to ask about this, though I do encourage my coaches to make a 3-minute or less little short video on what is coaching, like coaching in a nutshell. And that's what I always send first. So like I send mine, you would make one and send yours. When I invite to coaching and they're like, oh yeah, could you tell me more about it? I'm just like, hey, I made this really quick short video, very basic. Check it out. If you're still interested and you want to learn more information, I'd love to have you in the sneak peek I'm hosting Thursday, or I'd love to send you a little bit more information, or I'd love to hop on a phone call or whatever.